So here we are. It is my goal this year to sell over $10,000 of my personal video game collection to purchase a single factory sealed Super Mario Bros. And this right here on my screen might be the copy that I purchase. It's currently sitting at $3,600. There are 80 people watching it. It ends in 11 hours. And the good thing here is that they listed it as like new. They actually didn't use proper eBay categories, which may end up working out in my favor. It's a small thing, but people who search using filters, people who have more advanced searches, they might actually miss this. So does this mean I've reached my goal of selling $10,000 worth of stuff? No, not yet. Right now I'm sitting somewhere between $4,000 and $5,000. I'll have the full update at the end of this video. I've sold off almost all of my CIB GameCube collection, so I'm going to go over all of that later in the video. But even though I haven't sold $10,000 worth of stuff yet, I don't want to miss out on what might be an amazing opportunity. If I did win this, I would have to throw some of it on credit and then double down on selling my collection as quickly as I can. Is that the smartest idea? I honestly don't know. As is, factory sealed copies of Super Mario Bros. Do seem to be climbing in price. And just last week, there was this copy right here, a 9.2 A+ copy. And the offer that was accepted was apparently $19,000. But if that's true, if 9.2 A+ actually sold for $19,000, then like that's insanity. That is crazy. That is a crazy amount of money for that grade. And the last 9.2 A+ that sold, by the way, was earlier this year for $12,000. So that is a massive jump up to $19,000. I basically just have to ignore it. Or at least I have to pray that that is not a sign of things to come. I have to pray that that is not some kind... It's an outlier, right? I just have to hope that's an outlier. So with this one here, I'm gonna be as competitive as I can, but I can't compete at that kind of price point, so fingers crossed. And I do just want to show you guys this raw copy more. So if you look here, all these stickers will be removed, as well as that there's like some residue there to the bottom left of the stickers. All of that will be removed. That'll clean up nicely. The actual condition of the box is pretty darn nice. But you can see as we just go through photos here, it's very scratched up. You can see all the superficial scratching, especially here. It's amplified by the light, but undoubtedly, there's a lot of scuffs. There's a lot of scratching. The corner down here is dinged. You can see it curves inwards there, so that is damage to the box in that bottom corner. The back, again, right up there at the corner, you can see a little ridge, a little ding, so a little bit of damage up there as well. And then the main thing here, the main point of damage, or the worst point of damage, I guess, the worst point, sorry, is this corner. Bottom right-hand corner here. There's another picture, I think, that shows it better. Yeah, there we go. That is going to be the main detractor of condition. It smashes through the seal. It dents the whole side of the box here. I don't know if it creases upwards as well. I don't think it does, so I think it's all contained to just this corner. But man, that is some juicy damage down there. That is considerable. But the rest of the box genuinely is quite nice. So my honest opinion, if someone were to ask me about this, I think it's a 9.0 A. Yes, that's with the corner damage. And if there's any other slight creasing or something that I miss, look at the scratching, hey? Oh my God. That's insane. It's about midnight right now. I'm recording this. It ends in 11 hours. It ends tomorrow morning. I'm going to sleep on it here. When I wake up, when I check in the morning, I want to see if the bids moved at all. Sitting at 3,600 right now. I'll see how I feel in the morning. It is now almost 10 a.m. in the morning here. The game still sits at $3,600. No movement at all. It ends in about an hour. Yeah, 1 hour, 8 minutes from now. So I did talk to another collector as well. He agrees it probably is a 9.0 on the box. The seal grade, very likely an A. But the more I think about spending a lot of money on this, the more I think I'm just not going to be happy even if I do win it. I would be more happy spending more to get a nicer copy. So before going to bed and sleeping on this, I was gonna bid something like $6,600. Gives me a bit of upside if we hit the 9.0, and I probably would lose money if it ends up in 8.5. After thinking about it more though, I'm gonna lock in my number at $5,222.22. At that kind of price, if I win it for $5,000, I think I could resell it if I'm truly not happy with it. I do assume it sells for closer to 6,000 to 7,000, but 5,200 is where I personally feel that's it's just not. If this copy was slightly nicer, just slightly nicer, I'd feel so much better about it. Fingers crossed, $5,000. So I'm at the car wash. 20 seconds until it ends here. I did up the bid to 5,600. I don't know. This is how my brain works. I started getting FOMO about not bidding enough, so I upped it from 5,200 to 5,600. 2 seconds, it jumped to $10,000. It's loading here, the end. Sold for $10,200. Yeah, my max bid, you can see my max bid there, 5,600. $10,200. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So that was certainly a punch in the gut, a good old kick in the nuts. $10,200 for that copy. That copy is not nice, man. It's just not nice. A couple of other people I talked to, one person bid 7,600 on it. There was another person around 7,000. So I mean, I wasn't gonna win it. It doesn't sound like anyway, but $10,000? But in a stunning twist of events here, the next day I wake up and I have a message from the seller and it says, "You were an underbidder on my auction for the black box Mario that sold for $10,000. High bidder is backing out. Are you interested? Not a scam, smile. Contact me from the seller's page if you like for proof this is real." So automatically it's a scam, right? Like the only people saying not a scam are people trying to scam. But that aside, I do reach out to him because like, hey, I mean, well, let's see where this leads, right? So we have a couple of back and forth, but keep in mind, my bid was $5,600, about half of what it actually sold for. So we do have a couple of messages back and forth, but it just turns out he relists it at $7,500 starting bid, $10,000 buy it now. Which when I do see his listing, I do send one final offer, one final hurrah at the guy and say, if you have interest at $6,500 privately, which privately was spelled wrong on purpose. That's me trying to avoid eBay's filters. I have no idea if it helps or not, but obviously eBay doesn't like that. But $6,500 private sale is what I finally offer. Appreciates the interest, gonna let the auction run, blah, 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 give me 9,000, maybe 7,500. Who cares? I'm not bidding 7,500 on it. But the story doesn't end there. So the auction stayed up for a day, I think, maybe 48 hours at the $7,500 starting bid, $10,000 bin. But now, like right now, when I'm recording this, I went to go check on the listing. It's now has its price lowered to $5,000 starting bid, $9,000 buy it now. So it's very possible still that I might win this Mario Bros. Because yeah, I'm gonna bid my $6,000, $5,600, whatever, right? I'll go ahead and bid that again, that's fine. And now that the item's been relisted and people might think it's sketchy, people might think it's weird, anytime an auction is ran over and over again, they uploaded new pictures, new background, it's still not actually posted as brand new, it's still like new condition. There's potential here. There's potential that people will forget to bid again, that they'll walk away, whatever it is. The door is open again that I might actually win this copy. Which, like, what an absolute whirlwind of events here. This is the chase. This is the mission. But I will have full updates on this as soon as I can. If I win the auction, if I lose the auction, it'll all be updated in the next video. Because in this one now, I need to go through everything that has been sold because I've basically moved my entire CIB GameCube collection. It's basically all sold. This is it. This is all that I have remaining now for GameCube games. What is that? 3, 6, 9. 9 GameCube games. The Germans' favorite number. Like some of them were just in too poor of condition to sell to some of the collectors that I deal with, but other copies are Canadian prints. You can see the... There, you can see the bilingual there. They're just Canada prints of the game. You got the French on the front of Melee here. Pikmin 2 is actually really cool because it has different cover art. So this one right here is Canadian print, and this is USA print. For whatever reason, they gave Canadian Pikmin its very own cover art. The back is identical, except the Canada one, again, is bilingual all over the place. And I know a lot of people will say, like, oh, Canada doesn't matter, Canadian prints are the exact same price, but for a lot of the collectors in this community, they simply don't want these Canada prints, right? The people that I deal with, the people in this community, they didn't want my Canada prints. Greg's stinky Canada games, right? Whatever, fair enough, doesn't matter. But that's all I have left for my GameCube collection, and that is crazy, man. That's a collection of games that I had for, I don't know, 10, 15 years. Feels insane to, just not have them anymore. Like, right? They're gone. But say thank you to every single patron who helps support the channel, as well as the YouTube members. I can't do this without you guys. Hit the like button, and let's go through the GameCube sales. I also do just have a quick update from Phoenix Resale, where I sent in some games to his Quick Flips app. Everything went smooth with that. No issues, no deductions. The Mario Kart disc I showed you guys was pretty scratched. The Yu-Gi-Oh manual had some bends to it. No deductions on any of that stuff, so that was a clean, I think it was 360. I was apparently being too harsh. I was stressed out too much. It all went off without a hitch, which is awesome to be able to report back. So let's start off with Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2 Plus. Now, I actually recently made a short video talking about why that game, plus this one right here, the standard copy, why were there two copies of this game made? The original version here had online exploits, which allowed people to hack and do duplication glitches, so they had to release the Plus version basically to patch all of the issues. That's why two copies exist, and I never knew that, so in researching, I actually gained a lot deeper appreciation for the title. Not enough to keep it or anything, it's still a GameCube grail, it's still worth too much money for me to hold on to, but I did end up selling it to Max 2D Gaming. You can find him on Instagram, TikTok, just a wonderful human. And we settled on $200 for an absolute clean copy of the game, which got me $189 after shipping. This lot of 11 games here is going to Jimmy from the Discord, who is working on a full GameCube set. Everyone I sold to, I think, is actually working on a full GameCube set. There were 3 bundles out the door. They're all building CIB GameCube sets. I know I'm not the biggest supporter of full set collecting now in 2025, but as far as GameCube goes, apparently there's still a lot of people out there putting together the set. It's about 550 games, if I remember correctly. There's a lot of heavy hitters in there, but people are still working towards it. But this lot of games here sold for $500, with the big ones of the bunch being Ribbit King and Digimon Rumble Arena 2. I love Digimon, you guys know this, but this game is basically just a really bland Smash Bros clone. I wanted to like it. I like Digimon. I wanted to like this game, but after playing it for about 30 minutes to an hour, it just isn't deep enough to hold your interest. And I say this as someone who can play Smash Melee at a semi-competitive level. The amount of depth in Digimon is just, it's just not there. It's just not that fun. This copy has some wear and tear, all that stuff, so let it go for $100. If you just want to play the game, you just want to try it out, I don't recommend paying for it. The other big one is Ribbit King, and this copy is quite nice, and we agreed to $160 on it. Now, I had no idea what this game was until I actually had a chance to play it when I got a copy, and to my surprise, it's a golf game, or a frog golf game, or Frolf, as the back of the game case calls it. It's a wacky game where you actually try to get points as you move towards the hole, and the most points win. I didn't really enjoy it much. Maybe I'm just too old. It's the thing where I forced my little brothers to play with me because it plays up to 4 players, I think, so I forced them to have some games, and, you know, we played it for about an hour. And we had all had our fun with Ribbit King. A lot of these really expensive top collector GameCube titles aren't actually the best to sit down and play. The other one I want to mention here is Zoids, because I sold this one for $45, and man, the price on this game has froze. Going on price charts, this game was hovering $40 as back as 2013. It popped up a bit during the pandemic, and now it's just trending back down. In 2013, $40 was a ton for any GameCube game. Now in 2025, it's like a bit above average. Like, there's a bit of value there, but you know what I mean. It's just kind of interesting to see when certain games do or don't keep up with the trends over like a 10-year time span. I also sold this lot of 5 heavy titles for a total price of $950, but there was shipping and PayPal fees, so I actually net $896 off of it. But this was led by the Zelda Master Quest Wind Waker double bundle here, which I actually didn't think I was going to get rid of, and Cubivore, which we agreed to $450 for. Cubivore. Super nice copy here on Cubivore. And I'm actually disappointed in myself because I've owned Cubivore for years, but I'm not sure I ever actually sat down and tried it. It was one of those, oh yeah, I'll totally try this out sometime, but I never actually did that. And as far as I know, as far as some of the reviews say, it's actually supposed to be pretty good. Or at least it's quirky and unique enough where you'll probably enjoy the time you put into it. And this game has forever been a rare collector game. It's published by Atlas, so it was forever destined to be rare. And I actually did want to hold on to this one just because it is so unique, just because it is Atlas covered. It's always been a big collector game, but in trying to stick to my goals here for the Mission Mario, I made the decision to let it go. Which also, the Zelda Master Quest Wind Waker double pack here, I didn't really want to sell that either, but the guy was pushing for it. We agreed on $300, which I just felt I had to take the offer. The thing is, I love Zelda, and buying a double pack of that game is basically impossible. It's literally thousands of dollars to get a factory sealed one, so I don't think I'll ever do that. But I already own a 9.8 A+ Wind Waker and a 9.8 A++ Master Quest. Like, I already own each individual game. Is there really any reason for me to also own the CIB double pack? I'm not doing a full GameCube set. Do people even consider those double packs as necessary for the full GameCube set? I don't think a lot of people do. So the collector in me, the hoarder in me, absolutely wants to keep it, but it's just not really necessary, practical. It's just, it feels like the definition of unnecessary to own the double pack plus the sealed graded plus the, you know what I mean? It just feels excessive. Maybe this is all just cope of me selling it so I don't regret it too much, but maybe I can just buy it back in a few years at triple the cost. And the last batch of games here going out the door actually being sold to Monty from the Discord, the guy who runs Rainier Consignment on eBay. I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you're into the sealed and graded world, you've probably bought from Rainier on eBay. He's also putting together a full CIB GameCube set, so I was super happy to be able to do a deal with him. As you can see, most of these are heavy hitters, so this lot came out to $1,000. After shipping, I'll get about $975. Gotcha Force is by far the most expensive game here, and one of the most expensive GameCube games, period. It's actually gotten to the point where people make counterfeits of this game along with Cubivore and some of the other super heavy GameCube titles. So make sure on eBay you're always being careful, especially if you see like a sealed copy of Go-Go Hyper Grind or Gotcha Force and it seems too good to be true. It could just be a counterfeit. People are making fakes of these games now, so be careful out there. But we settled on $360 for the Gotcha Force, which I really was trying to give my best prices I could, as Monty has helped me out so much with my own collection over the past couple of years. This One Piece Grand Adventure game has also gained some value. We agreed to $55 on it, but no part of me would be surprised to see this keep climbing to being above $100 regularly in the future. The reviews are actually pretty solid too for a One Piece fighting game, and of course One Piece is now like the most popular franchise in the world, so definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of the series, and it is one that I would target sooner rather than later if I was now putting together a GameCube set. And my personal two favorite games in this lot are Gauntlet, Dark Legacy, and Lost Kingdoms 2. I already own this one, factory sealed and graded, as Lost Kingdoms 1 and 2 are genuinely a couple of my favorite GameCube titles. If you've never played them, if you've never heard of them, I definitely encourage you to watch a retrospective or even just give it a try on emulator. It's a really addicting deck building action RPG style of game. And not the deepest story or anything, but the gameplay and evolving and leveling up your cards is definitely what makes it enjoyable. And then Gauntlet Dark Legacy, I still do need to get a sealed one, but man, one of my favorite GameCube titles and just an absolute nostalgia trip. Sitting down to play it in 2025 alone might not be the most stimulating experience, but if you can get a friend or two, sit down for some couch co-op, man, Gauntlet is always a good time. Lost Kingdoms 2 we did $124 and Gauntlet was $100 on the dot. Both are actually more expensive than I thought before pricing them out, especially Gauntlet Dark Legacy, but I mean, I guess like I said, it's a great game and so many people love it. And with all of that said, all of that new GameCube stuff sold comes out to $2,540 added to the Mission Mario Fund for a new grand total of $4,213. That's starting to feel kind of real. The last update video I was a bit dejected because things were moving so slowly, but selling off the GameCube stuff, that really juiced up the number. Slowly but surely, this is coming together, folks. And while it hurts to get rid of so many amazing games, it also does feel good to be clearing out the space space, both physically and mentally. Now I no longer have to worry about something happening to those games as they sit in storage for, I don't even know how long they might remain in storage if I didn't sell them. Not having to think about them, worry about them, that does free up some mental space. Like I said, it just kind of feels good. Here's hoping I can win that sealed Mario Bros on eBay for cheap, but I have a feeling it's gonna spike up again, and that's probably not gonna be the end of Mission Mario, unfortunately. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'll have an update for that in the next video. Make sure to hit the like button before you go and subscribe for future updates, future videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.